What's going on, my Jack brother? Coach Scott here. In today's video, we're going to talk about how many exercises you should perform per muscle group per week to maximize your muscle gains. Now, there are three main reasons why you want to incorporate a variety of exercises into your overall training plan. We're talking yearly training plan, not just from month to month. Number one is that you want to make sure that you are not leaving a single muscle fiber untouched. Any muscle fiber that is not being stimulated throughout the year is muscle gains left on the table. Reason number two is that incorporating a variety of exercises into your yearly training plan ensures that you will build an aesthetic physique. Not just building more muscle, but making sure that you're not going to have any lagging muscle groups, that each muscle head, each muscle is being stimulated and worked throughout the year. And reason number three is the novelty factor. When you're strategically incorporating a variety of exercises into your yearly training plan, it's going to skyrocket your enthusiasm. You're going to have a lot more fun with your workouts, and that enthusiasm is going to translate into better effort. You're going to want to give more of yourself to each training session. Now, for a quick little anatomy lesson to express the importance of strategically incorporating a variety of exercises into your training plan, starting with the quadriceps, which has 4 heads. If you are to just do squats and leg presses, yeah, you're going to develop some pretty big quads, but chances are the rectus femoris, one of the heads of the quadriceps, is going to be lagging behind, as the leg extension seems to be the best exercise to fully stimulate the rectus femoris. The Bulgarian split squat can do an okay job there as well. For the hamstrings, we've got the bicep femoris, the semimembranosus, semitendinosus, the semimembranosus, and the long head of the bicep femoris cross the hip joint. So you want to make sure you're incorporating exercises that both flex at the knee and hinge at the hip. So Romanian deadlifts and any type of leg curl movement. And then we got the inner thighs, the adductor muscles, which a lot of guys tend to neglect. And if you neglect your inner thighs, you are really missing out on maximizing your leg gains and really developing the overall aesthetic appearance of your thighs. For the chest, we got exercises that can place more emphasis on the upper aspect, the middle aspect, and the lower aspect. For the shoulders, we got the anterior, the front delts, the lateral delts, the rear delts. For the biceps, we got a long head, a short head, but we also have the brachialis muscle that pops out the side there. So that if you aren't playing around with grip position with your bicep exercises, you're missing out on maximizing the overall appearance, the aesthetic appearance, the overall size of your arms. Like I said, with that brachialis muscle popping out the side, that adds a whole lot more thickness to your upper arm. For the triceps, you got 3 heads of the triceps. The long head crosses the shoulder joint. So any exercise that you are performing up above your head like this, an overhead tricep extension, is going to place a little more emphasis on the long head of the tricep. If you're not doing any kind of movements with your arm in that upper position like that, you could be missing out on potential muscle gains for your triceps. I've covered arm growth gains in a previous video. I'll link to that down below in the description. And then you get your back, which I would say requires more exercises than any body part because there are so many different layers of muscles there. You got your lats, you've got your rhomboids, the teres minor, teres major, you've got your traps. And when we're talking about not leaving any muscle fiber untouched, it's not only making sure that we are stimulating every single muscle, no matter how small, but each muscle has different fiber structures. Like certain exercises will target the upper traps, certain exercises the mid traps, certain exercises will have more emphasis on the lower trap. So you want to make sure you're stimulating every fiber of each muscle group. Certain exercises are going to stimulate certain muscle fibers, aspects of a certain muscle group. And for the abs, you got some exercises that place more emphasis on the lower abdominals when you're curling your pelvis upwards, such as the hanging knee raises or the reverse crunch. Anything where you're rounding your shoulders forward, like a cable crunch, a machine crunch, you're going to place a little more emphasis on the upper and the mid abdominals. You're not going to isolate, but you're going to shift more emphasis. When it comes to your obliques, transverse abdominals, doing exercises that are rotational, whether it's like a Russian twist, or anti-rotational, like a pull-off press. When it comes to your calves, you've got the gastrocnemius that is going to be more emphasized when you're doing standing calf raises or anything where your legs are straight, calf press. If you want to work the soleus, which is underneath the gastrocnemius, that tends to be worked better when your knees are in a bent position, like a seated calf raise. And your lower leg has a lot of small muscles in there, oftentimes neglected, such as the tibialis anterior. I am fortunate to have a tibialis anterior machine at my gym, but you can also work this muscle group just by laying on your stomach at the bed with your feet just barely overhanging it and bringing your toes, trying to pull your toes into that mattress. You're going to feel a burning sensation in the tibialis anterior muscles there. So making sure that you're fully developing that lower leg as well. So now for the important part, how many exercises do you need to perform to make sure that you are not leaving a single muscle fiber untouched? It's incredibly important to look at things on both a weekly basis and a yearly basis. What I mean by that is you shouldn't try to stimulate every single muscle fiber with every workout plan that you're following. That would be an insurmountable task, basically impossible. It'd be overkill at its finest, and it would eliminate the novelty factor of change. If you're trying to incorporate every single exercise possible, every single angle in there, you would not be able to switch things up and change things up and keep things fun. And you'd also run yourself into the ground in the process. Now, as a general guideline, I'd say 2 to 5 exercises per muscle group, per training plan is a good place to start. But a lot of it's going to depend on the overall training volume. So if you're only performing 12 sets per muscle group per week, anywhere like 2 to 4 exercises is going to be fine. 2 exercises, is that going to be enough? I think for some muscle groups, it's going to be fine. For the shoulders, for example, if you're doing like a dumbbell shoulder press and lateral raises, when you combine that with the chest workouts you're doing, the back exercises that you're performing, the back is going to work a lot of the rear delts, the chest is going to work a lot of the anterior delts. So doing a dumbbell shoulder press, especially with an incline, a high incline, not straight up, you're going to get some front delts in there, some lateral delts in there, and then you do your lateral raises, which is going to emphasize the lateral aspect of your delts. I don't think your delts would lag from doing just those 2 exercises for 12 sets. So 6 sets of dumbbell shoulder press, 6 sets of lateral raises. I think your shoulders would be gold, and then you can change it up in upcoming workout plans. What I don't want you to see you get stuck doing is thinking that you need to do just 3 sets for every exercise. It's okay to do some exercises for 4 sets, some for 5 sets, some for 6 sets. For some people, like, the third set is when you're just getting into a really good groove and doing 1 more set or 2 more sets, sometimes 3 more sets of that same exercise. You're going to get better and better and better and really master that movement pattern, really get the most out of that exercise. So once again, when you're following a lower to low moderate volume training plan, 2 to 4 exercises is going to be sufficient for you. When you start increasing your training volume to 15 sets per muscle group per week or higher, I'd say 3 to 5 exercises would be much better suited for your training plan there. Even for some body parts like the back, I'd say even 6 exercises would be best when you're upwards of above 18 sets for that muscle group. So the next question is, how many exercises per muscle group per workout should you perform? And I'd say a good general guideline is between 1 and 4 exercises. It depends on your training split. If you're following a body part split routine, a bro split, it's okay to do 4 exercises in a workout, knowing that you're going to have several days to recover from that training plan. Now, some would argue that after 8 sets for a muscle group, you start experiencing a diminishing return on your investment there, and it's just junk volume after that. And there can be a case for that, but I think there's also a case for doing something like that temporarily to step outside your comfort zone and challenge your body in a different way with a good bro split and going beyond the 10, 12, maybe even 14 sets for a body part for a certain workout and then dropping back. I would say the sweet spot is probably between 6 and 10 sets. So that'd be anywhere, again, like 2 to 3 exercises per muscle group per workout, I think is great. But again, you don't have to keep it to that, as we're going to discuss in a moment. With a higher volume training plan, it's a lot easier to incorporate a variety of exercises in there and making sure that you are stimulating as many muscle fibers as possible because you have more sets to work with. But one of the big advantages of incorporating a variety of exercises into these higher volume training plans is that it helps you manage fatigue a lot better. Like trying to do all compound movements, big heavy lifts for 18, 21, 24 sets is going to beat you into the ground. You're going to need to work in some isolation exercises in there to help manage that muscle damage and fatigue. So to give you an example, you could follow an upper-lower push-pull leg split where the upper-lower workouts are focused on strength, the push-pull leg workouts are focused on hypertrophy. Let's say for the lower body workout, you're performing the hack squat and the Romanian deadlift. You could perform like 6 sets of each, building yourself up, focused on strength, really giving the best of yourself to those exercises. If you were to repeat that again later in the week, it'd probably beat you down. So the next time you train legs, you would do like some leg curls, leg extensions, maybe a split squat. Do the inner thigh machine, the abductors, to make sure that you are stimulating all those muscle fibers in your leg. And that workout it's going to be a different feel. It's not going to beat you down like the heavy squats and Romanian deadlifts did. Another example could be a push-pull leg split, where you got two different versions of the split, where the first go around, the push workout, you're focused a little bit more on chest, just a little bit of shoulders and triceps. The second go around, you are focused more on shoulders and triceps, just a little bit of chest. The first pull workout, you could do vertical pulling. The second pull workout, you could do horizontal pulling. The first leg workout, you could be more quad focused, just a little bit of hamstrings. Second leg workout could be mostly hamstrings, just a little bit of quads. So again, we're looking at 2 to 5 exercises per muscle group per workout plan as a general guideline, and we're looking at 1 to 4 exercises per workout depending on your training split. Now, how often should you change those exercises to make sure that you're not leaving a single muscle fiber untouched, to make sure that you are developing a chiseled and detailed aesthetic physique? Now, for myself personally and for my coaching clients, I like to stick with the training split for at least 8 to 16 weeks, and I make very subtle changes from month to month. I keep a lot of the exercises exactly the same so you can continue to progress with them. There's nothing worse than just getting in a great groove with a movement. You are making continuous progress. You're feeling freaking awesome and like, oh, sorry, that's gone. Let's move this in instead. You don't want to be doing that. If you are still making progress with a movement, you're feeling great with it, you want to keep that in and continuing milking that exercise for as long as possible. So I may keep most of the things the same, and what I'll do is just swap out the intensity technique. So even if I'm keeping all of the exercises the same, maybe for leg extensions, I did drop sets last month to finish it off on the third set. This month, I may do extended rest pause set. Next month, I may do some form of mechanical advantage superset or something. So just keeping things the same, but just swapping out a little intensity technique to keep the enthusiasm high. For any exercise swap that I do happen to make from month to month, it's usually an isolation exercise. So for the chest, I may swap out a mid cable fly for a high pulley cable fly, which is going to place a little more emphasis on the lower aspect of the chest, or maybe a low pulley cable fly, we're scooping upwards and going to get a little bit more emphasis on the upper pecs there. So subtle little adjustments like that with the program. So keeping most of the exercise the same, one little isolation exercise swap out. And you'll find, like, during a 16-week training plan where you're following the same split, keeping most of the exercises the same, if you're just swapping out a couple of the isolation exercises here and there from month to month during that 4-month period there, you're going to be stimulating just about every single muscle fiber in there. Then after 16 weeks, you can make some more bigger swaps overall, but you're going to probably find that a lot of the exercises you're going to keep in your training plan throughout most of the year. But again, it's just going to be a subtle change. So say after 16 weeks, we swap out dumbbell bench press. You may change that for like a converging hammer strength chest press, or maybe a cable chest press. It's basically the same movement, going to work the same muscle group, but it may stimulate those muscle fibers in a slightly different way. So again, and it just may break you out of certain movement patterns, just easier on your joints over the long term, easier on your body over the long term, just by incorporating a variety of exercises in there. And if after 4 months of barbell back squatting is starting to get to you, could always do the hack squat, maybe a front squat, maybe a reverse V squat. There's lots of different options there. They're very similar movements, but can help you avoid repetitive use injuries and just keep your training fun and exciting. So the take home message is that you don't need a ton of variety in every single workout plan, and you don't need to make a bunch of changes all the freaking time. You can just make subtle changes from month to month, and that will be enough throughout the course of the year to ensure that every muscle fiber is going to get stimulated and that you will develop an aesthetic overall physique. I hope you found value in today's video. If you enjoyed it, please do me a favor and smash that thumbs up button. I'd really appreciate it. If you want to see more videos like this, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that alert button so you're notified each time I upload a video. If you know a fellow bro who would benefit from watching today's video, please do me a favor and share it with them. More than anything, I would love to hear from you down in the comment section below. Share your thoughts, share your insights, share your feedback based on your own personal experiences. And before you go, don't forget to download your free guide, Jacked After 40. Have yourself an amazing day. Catch you next video.